Good morning, guys. Another day in Maldives, and it can't get any better. I'm going on an Ignite trip with Dan Bilzerian to Miami.
What do you do in Thailand with Dan Bilzerian?
It's gonna be absolutely insane. I don't know what to expect. It's my first trip with Dan Bilzerian.
I have nothing but love and respect for Dan because he's very nice.
What's up, guys? We're in Dubai, and we're having the time of our lives. So we're about to take this dope Instagram pictures with the cars. And now I get to travel to the places that I never thought I'll be able to travel.
Out of 165 videos, I maybe faked 5 videos.
I have a whole video on your fake pranks, every single one of them.
Okay, yeah, fake pranks. Everybody knows that.
Ah yes, another day, another I pretend my life is way better than it really is in order to sell some product that nobody wants. VitalyzdTV, a former moderately douchey YouTube prankster who is known for 3 things in particular: big views, a hot mum, and the fakest pranks on the entire platform.
Too bad. I don't like camel diggers.
Now, while the pranks and big views are somewhat long gone for Vitaly, one thing still certainly remains for this particular content creator: the fakeness of his content. And while back in the day the fakeness primarily surrounded the apparently genuine reactions from individuals who were clearly being paid to appear in Vitaly's videos,
You want me to get in this car? For what? I don't know you.
the fakeness these days seems to have reappeared around Vitaly's lifestyle.
All jokes aside, actually, believe in your dreams. These pictures are not fake. Look at these.
Basically just living that unrealistic Instagram influencer lifestyle with the facade of happiness while likely being extraordinarily unfulfilled under the surface.
Welcome to another vlog. I'm currently skydiving. It's like 10 in the morning. That's how I like to wake up sometime.
And it got me thinking, isn't there an individual we've looked at before who seems to possess these similar kind of traits? Another individual who's built their life on a lie? Another individual whose sole goal was to make their life seem way better than it really was in order to pander some garbage product? Oh yeah, Dan Bilzerian. Somewhat ironic considering Dan Bilzerian and VitalyzdTV actually happen to be close friends. They gym together, party together, and even travel together.
I'm going on an Ignite trip with Dan Bilzerian to Miami. This was last minute. It's gonna be absolutely insane.
So it would come as no surprise that Vitaly figured out that faking an unrealistic lifestyle is somewhat of a good way to grow a brand. But Sonny, how can you be so sure that Vitaly fakes his lifestyle? Well, let's go all the way back and start with his pranks way back in the YouTube prankster prime time. The first piece of evidence I'd like to put forward towards the fakeness of Vitaly's lifestyle is Vitaly admitting himself that his pranks were fake back in the day.
Everybody knows that we faked pranks back in the day. Yes, I faked some of my videos. Out of 165 videos, I maybe faked 5 videos.
Now, Vitaly claims that of his 165 prank videos from back in the day, only about 5 were faked. However, this seems like the pretty standard strategy of admitting to a small lie to ultimately hide the rest of a bigger lie. And it seems pretty obvious that his pranks all the way back in 2013 were fake, judging from the acting and body language of both Vitaly and the actors in the video.
Too bad. I don't like gold diggers.
This is then backed up by FouseyTube, one of Vitaly's close friends, outing him for his fake pranks back in the day.
I have a whole video on your fake pranks, every single one of them.
So I think it'd be a pretty reasonable statement to say that Vitaly pretty much faked a large majority of his pranks. But that's all old news. Who cares if he faked his pranks back in the day? I mean, what's the significance of a 7-year-old fake prank when we're looking at his present lifestyle? Well, I like the old saying, once a liar, always a liar. And I think that this is accentuated when it comes to Vitaly, and I'll tell you why. Because everybody has their own personal science when it comes to growing their audience. For gaming channels, it might be that there always needs to be a challenge involved. For commentary channels, it might be that there always needs to be an element of drama. For podcasting channels, it might be that the person being interviewed needs to have an interesting story. And for many of the fake prank channels back in the day, the personal science was to make it as big and outrageous as possible. Vitaly's extreme growth from his fake pranks in the beginning likely cemented the mindset of make it as big and outrageous as possible, increasing the shock factor, ultimately resulting in more views. Which is very true. His videos performed extremely well back in the day. However, the issue with that is that it's hard to make something consistently big and outrageous without setting it up or faking it. You can't get a full video of primo reactions from every MILF you try and pick up without faking it. You can't get a genuine gold digger reaction like this one without faking it. And similarly, you can't make your life look big and outrageous without adding an element of inauthenticity to it. This seems to be the personal philosophy that Vitaly has carried over to this day. Make it big and outrageous. And Vitaly knows from his fake prank days that you can always make it look a little bit bigger and take it to that next level if you just add an element of fake. Which is likely what Vitaly has done. The extravagant holidays, the unrealistic lifestyle, the skydiving in a suit. Do you really think this is how Vitaly lives his life? Well, this doesn't really answer much. He's still going on holidays to the Maldives. He's still driving Ferraris. He's still doing the things shown on camera. How can it possibly be fake? Well, when I say fake, I'm more trying to highlight as an overall that this lifestyle where he is apparently going on holiday every 2 weeks.
But I'm actually excited. We've been home for like 2 weeks now, kind of getting bored,
is both unsustainable and unrealistic. What this really is getting footage from some of the most exciting events from maybe a single week in the whole year and posting them throughout the year, framing it as your real life, when in reality it's probably the opposite of Vitaly's real life. Why? Well, I could be wrong here, but from what I've seen, nobody in any kind of position of power really lives a life like this, because there's always so much work to do. Now, I'm going to give credit to Vitaly here by saying that he's probably an extremely hard worker. He probably works all day, every single day, which he actually stated in an interview at a later date.
Woke up at 4, went straight for an hour cardio, went home to eat, went to the gym with the trainer, came back and been working since, and I'm here at the podcast, no nap.
You're really making me feel like I'm not doing enough.
But at the same time, that discredits him from the fake lifestyle that he lives on Instagram. Because anyone living that kind of lifestyle would have never built what he built in the first place. We live in an Insta scam world. People can condense months of their life into one single moment, which is put on display as their regular life from day to day. And perhaps everybody already knows this, but I'm just trying to highlight that the life Vitaly lives on Instagram is probably very far from what his life really looks like on a day-to-day basis. On top of all of this, Vitaly's inauthenticity is reinforced by his proclivity for lying in interviews, which we'll have a quick look at, starting with one of my personal favorites, something Vitaly said in the Adam 22 No Jumper podcast, which almost supersedes a lie and is more of just a moronic statement.
Were you nervous about having to potentially try to get on stage?
No, nervous. What is nervous doesn't exist in my system.
No?
No.
That's not even something you can conceive of.
No, yeah.
Okay.
I love how Adam is just like anxiously laughing at his ego, and when Vitaly finishes, he's just like, okay. Anyway, Vitaly apparently doesn't feel nervous ever. It doesn't even exist in his system. Now, Vitaly, we've all seen your bang bus performance, brother, and I think actions speak louder than words. So I'd probably argue that nervous does exist in your system, especially considering you had some help and still couldn't perform to the best of your ability.
I took Viagra, it still didn't work because there were so many people, but wait.
But let's give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's assume that you're not actually a human and are in fact a cyborg that doesn't feel fear. Why, when streaking the NBA finals, were you so apprehensive? Vitaly, why not just tell the truth, dude? It's not like that's something that anyone would ever believe anyway. There's no such thing as a person who doesn't feel fear. Why not just say that you feel fear but you try and put it in the background? At least that's somewhat relatable. Another element of dodgy in the No Jumper interview is when Adam asked Vitaly about a fight he got in with Bradley Martin back in late 2019. In the interview, Vitaly states that Bradley is his boy and that the fight wasn't fake.
Bradley's my boy. We're good. There's no beef. There's no nothing. It wasn't like fake.
But like, is there really anything you could say that makes it seem more fake than having to go out of your way to state that it wasn't fake? If it wasn't fake, you wouldn't go to the effort of saying, oh, it wasn't fake. Now, one thing that would really support Vitaly's statement of it not being fake is if they really hated each other and actually wanted to fight. However, this couldn't be further from the truth, considering that Bradley Martin and Vitaly had literally just been overseas together 1 week before the petty fight.
I just literally came back from Thailand, spending a week 24/7 together and having.
So you're that close?
Yeah, me and Bradley just went to Thailand with me, Dan Bilzerian.
You know, definitely not the perfect time to come up with a plan to fake a fight for publicity. But what reason would he have to fake it? Oh, you know, just the fact that he said he was lining up a boxing match with Bradley Martin at a later date.
Who do you think would be a good opponent? Are you focused on this?
It's funny. I can probably say it now. It's me and Bradley.
You and Bradley.
Yeah, I think he said he's down, and I told him and I told everybody.
If you went on holiday with him a week before and talked to him regularly about lining up a boxing match, I think it's safe to say that this was a fake fight to promote, you know, the thing that literally every YouTuber does these days for free publicity and income, boxing matches. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that I think it's obvious that Vitaly has pretty much followed the Dan Bilzerian blueprint path of building your life on as many lies as possible to make your life look as crazy as possible, with the ultimate goal of attracting attracting as many eyeballs as possible to sell as many products as possible. But I mean, can you really blame him at the end of the day? This is kind of the goal of most people on social media, to get as many eyeballs as possible. However, I kind of despise the fact that so much of his content is clearly built upon lies and pandered as truth, kind of similar to Dan Bilzerian. It's setting up this unrealistic expectation of what your life should look like, when in reality most people who portray this kind of lifestyle usually have horrific personal lives behind the scenes, which are obviously never documented. I guess keep doing your thing, Vitaly. If it's working for you, then more power to ya. But I think building an audience with a touch of truth wouldn't be such a bad thing.